So has anyone ever told you guys that there's no shortcuts in life? Well, in today's video, we are going to be talking about why that could not be more true regarding your leather and restoring it. All right guys, so on a serious note, welcome to the Shifted Perspective YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're doing a process that I have been waiting on so long, justifying getting these new products. Actually, it was a birthday gift, so thank you for the birthday gift. Today we're going to be doing a leather restoration on the E39 M5. It is a 2003, so the leather is pretty old at this point. It is by no means a new car and it definitely needs some attention. If you've been following the channel for some time now, you know that I have used Lexol periodically, but that to me is a little bit more of a maintenance product. This Leatherique system is a lot more involved, but you have to work for it. So what I mean by that is today we're going to be applying the two-step process for the Leatherique system, which is much more involved than any other system out there, but it is multiple times more effective, and I already know that because I actually cheated on you guys. And I did half of the armrest on the M3 because I was so excited and I actually wanted to see if I could see results on a car that to me I've treated pretty well. The system we're going to be using, it's a 24-hour process generally speaking. You have the Leatherique Rejuvenator and then you have the Pristine Clean. And what's really weird about this system is you actually do the Rejuvenator oil first, apply that, let it sit overnight in an ideally above 80-degree temperatured environment, and then you use the Pristine Clean to actually wipe off all the dirt and oils and all that stuff that's actually come to the surface for your leather. It sounds a little bit weird, but if you think about it, you know, leather is porous and it needs warmth and heat, and it needs time to actually let the dirt and all that stuff kind of rise to the surface for you to inevitably wipe off. Before I put this on, this is Rejuvenator oil. It's actually not oil-based, which is weird that they call it that. It's water-based, but what you want to do is apply this on your seat. After it's been cleaned, I'm going to be using just some basic Express Interior Cleaner from P&S just to give it a quick wipe down because I have been sitting in the M5 for a few weeks without cleaning it.
Got you thinking
Alright guys, so earlier I stated that when you're applying the oil, the Rejuvenator oil, it should look glossy. That's actually good. It means that it hasn't sunk into the leather completely, and if it does, then you should add more. So I did this in middle section here, and as you can see, it's a little more glossy here than it is right here, and see how it's like kind of sitting on the surface, where here I just didn't put enough. I don't think it necessarily sunk in already, but what you want to do is just apply some more right there. And it's definitely convenient to use your hand and a glove because it won't kind of get soaked into the little microfiber applicator I was using. So I would assume either way works. But as you can see, here's a sort of a close-up. This is what the leather looks like right now, which, I mean, there's no rips or cracks or anything, but it's definitely really hard. So that's what we're gonna take care of. I'm gonna have to give you a before and after of the front because I totally got too excited and started wiping down the back seat before I did any before and after shots. And the thing that's nice about using your hand is you can literally put your finger here and get it into the cracks and crevices, where this thing is nice, but it is harder to manage what areas you're getting. So I like to use both actually so far. You know, you guys can correct me, but don't correct me that I'm using too much, because really that's the point. You want to make sure that the entire seat is literally soaked in this stuff. Okay, so spot the difference. Once again, I just applied this on this part of the seat, so it's nice and oily and wet, where this has actually been sitting for a little bit, and as you can see, the middle looks like it actually might have seeped into the leather, where on this side and a little bit on this edge, you know, it's a little more glossy. So I might need to apply a little bit more to the middle.
Got you thinking like
All right, guys, so I am done with the first pass of Leatherique. I'm actually trying to do one really good treatment of the Leatherique. This is the oil that I applied all over the seats. I literally applied it on any surface that has stitching all the way the back of the seat up until this sort of plastic looking piece. I'm not sure what the benefit would be to put Leatherique on here, but I did do it on like this little door part of the door card here, but I did not put it on this. This is a little more vinyl of a material, it seems like, so maybe there's a benefit of doing that, but I didn't do that for now. I put it on everything. I didn't mess with the little whatever, the pockets in the back, but I pretty much did put it on everything else. I put it on the front, I put it on the steering wheel and the shifter, the boot, the parking brake boot. I put it on everything, but this is what it looks like. Ideally, you won't have the sun baking on the leather, but you just want the interior of the car to be, I believe most people are saying, about 80 degrees plus. And as you can see, I did put the shades up, so it prevents the sun from actually surfacing on the leather, but it inevitably will be a little bit. So we're gonna wait about 24 hours. I'm gonna come back the next day and we're gonna see how this stuff does. Guys, about 24 hours later, you can see the leather definitely looks really disgusting. It's still very slimy and very sticky feeling. So the next step, which you're going to do after about a day or so, depending, ideally, you know, the whole surface would be very shiny looking, but as you can see, there's some areas that are more shiny than others. That means that it actually needed even more product. So this was my first round and my first attempt at this, so keep that in mind. In a perfect world, if we were doing this professionally, we would probably go back every hour or two to check. Like I'm noticing in this crack, which I know I put a lot in the seams, especially, you know, right on the every part of the car, especially that has stitching or whatever. I really tried to load it up. But you would be putting a little bit more on those areas, I would think, because that's kind of when you're getting in and out. But the next step is to take the Pristine Clean. I put my own little sprayer on here. It's literally just a random one from another bottle I had, so it fit perfectly. And we're just going to spray down the seat. We're going to use our little applicator to wipe it as well. So I'll show you that right now. So a few different options here, guys. You can spray it on the, this is, whoops, that is not the type of spray I wanted. I wanted this. There we go. Now I'm just gonna give it a nice little mist and see how it does. And keep in mind to be careful around this deck section. I don't want to get any product on there if I can help it. Yeah, you can feel that it really sticks to it. So you're gonna have to work for it a little bit. And I have a warm bucket of water. I'm gonna rinse this out in that bucket of water. All right guys, your final wipe is going to be with a damp, clean microfiber. I just use some basic, very basic ones to make sure you do a nice final wipe to get off the oils as well as the pristine clean, because you don't want either of those things sitting on your seat. So just really go to town. Pretty self-explanatory, but definitely have to work for it. Alright guys, it's only been a few minutes since I wiped this off. I actually had to get a new memory card for the camera, but I want to give you guys a nice up close and personal shot at what this seat looks like just by doing the process you just saw. Of course, it's a little wet still just because I just wiped it just a few minutes ago. And then there's a little bit of moisture here, so I'm gonna make sure I follow up with a towel. But oh my God, guys, this is absolutely softer. And it's definitely a more satin look than it was before. There is no doubt about that in my mind. All right, so here's the bucket so far. That's just from the rear seat. You know, keep in mind the products I'm using have a little bit of color to them. You know, like this isn't completely clear. And then obviously the Rejuvenator oil is not completely clear, but that is kind of what this is looking at like. It's looking a little murky so far. Alright guys, here is a nice up close and personal shot of the driver's seat at this point. Wow, that's all I can say is wow. Definitely softer leather. You know, obviously this stuff doesn't fix cracks, but it definitely helps prevent them. It helps prevent cracking and things like that because the leather stays soft. And the key going forward will be to hopefully protect this properly with some sort of, you know, mild leather coat or something like that. This is great stuff. It's actually more matte than I've ever seen this car. The seats are. You can see the steering wheel is still nice and greasy, so we're going to take care of that next. Wow, look at that. That is literally just from the steering wheel. I need to stop eating Fritos and Doritos and Cheetos and nachos in the car. Oh my God. You're definitely gonna have to work for it when you're doing the steering wheel, but I wanna show you what I have so far. This literally looks brand spanking new. I actually did the airbag too. I'm not really sure if that helped a lot, but I feel like it definitely cleaned it. And it seems like the pristine clean does wipe off of like the plastics pretty well. If you use the damp microfiber, it works pretty well. So, you know, obviously it's still a little bit wet, but the areas that are dry, you know, like on the BMW forums for this car, they're like, oh, brand new steering wheel. I'm like, this looks just like that now. Wow. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is definitely different types of leather. E39 guys, feel free to chime in here. Definitely a different type of material here. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I know that with the cars that have the inserts, it's a different color most times, but for me it's still black, but it is a different material. So some of it will be a little more porous than others. All right, guys, I think that is gonna do it. I'm literally so pooped. I'm done. I have going to insert the glamour shots of this process. Leatherique, two big thumbs up from me. Hopefully you guys will try this because I definitely recommend it. I probably do need to do a second round at some point on especially like the high touch areas, even the steering wheel. Steering wheel looks amazing. That was literally just the steering wheel is worth it to me, but even just the driver's seat and everything else is just absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend. Super matte, super soft, and until next time. So thank you guys again for watching. Comment below if I forgot to mention anything, and I will see you guys in the next one.